Hello everybody, today I'm going to be showing off my real-time sublevel manipulation tool using CaveGen. It starts the same way as the other ones. I need to pull up the digits on the result screen in order to figure out what the seed is. And the fastest way to do that is to pull up this level, collect some Pokos, and then kill the captain. So that's what I'm going to do. So the real-time aspect is the coolest and new part of this, and it allows you to manip score attack levels faster and manip CMAL in real time. Let me pull up my desktop quick. So the tool is called Seed Manip. It has a couple different modes. One of them is score attack, so let's use that one. So that brings up a GUI that looks like this. Let me switch back to the game so that I can get the digits. And I'm just mashing through so that the animation's a bit faster, and then I pull up the save box in order to prevent any further RNG advances. So switching back to the desktop, it's already pulled up the cave viewer and a list of recommended seeds that you want for score attack. I have a config file that tells it which levels I'm currently interested in, how long I'm willing to wait, what levels I don't want to see, and also like what percentile I'm willing to accept. So I have it set so that it will only show me sublevels that are in the top 3% or top 3%. Okay, so here are some of its recommendations, and you can scroll through them. And you can also see how far away they are. So I'm going to pick this one. It's 39 seconds away, and the window is 2.2 seconds. This is the seed. This is how many RNG advances it's away. It's 7 advances, and CaveGen thinks it's in the top 1.8% of all sublevels. It also thinks it's 1 second faster than the 5th percentile. It's just an arbitrary number to show you how good it thinks it is. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to the game. So the program is going to detect the fade out and use that to start the timers. Alright, switching back, you can see Cave Viewer has a bunch of timers counting down. So I'm looking at this one, and once this one runs out, the window will start counting down as well, and you just have to press A at some point between those two events. Okay, 10 more seconds. All right, let me pull the game back up. So you can see that looks like I've gotten the level I wanted. Yep, I can see the enemies and plants all match up. Okay. Switching back, I also have a feature where, like, if you press plus, it will go to the next seed in chronological order, and if you press minus, it'll go back 1 seed. And you can use that to help you figure things out if you messed up and didn't get the seed that you were trying to. Usually, if I mess up, I'm like either 1 seed early or 1 seed late. Okay, so that pretty much shows off the tool. I can't like record the tool working and my desktop at the same time, so you'll have to take my word for it. That's pretty fast. Typically, I'm like waiting just like a split second before I hit don't save if I'm doing like a CMAL run. And yeah, so the benefits are pretty obvious. Like, you can do score attack very fast, only playing on like, you know, top 3% RNG for every single sublevel that you try. And, you know, you can do CMAL, saving minutes by manipulating the first sublevel of each level. And yeah, so I've already taken the CMAL world record, of course, with this. If you want to set it up for yourself, it's going to be a lot of work probably. The tool is very complicated and requires a lot of steps, but I will try to write something up so if people are interested, they can set it up themselves. So yeah, I'll just briefly use the last bit of time to sort of explain how the tool works. So the game feed is captured via a capture card and passed into OBS. I use a tool called Virtual Cam that passes the feed from OBS into a Python program, and the Python program uses an algorithm called template matching in order to read the digits. The digits happen to be fairly difficult to read by typical neural nets because they're transparent and they're sort of like outliney. So the template matching algorithm basically just takes a picture of the known one and compares it to something, and like just picks the digit that matches the one that it's cropped out the best. It's like pretty straightforward, but probably the most like effective way to read these digits. So that's the digit parser that reads the digits every frame, and then there's a complicated math problem that takes in the digits that get spit out and figures out what seed is used to generate them. This ends up being kind of a hard problem because there's like 2 billion seeds and you have to do this quickly. So there's some like interesting math that you can do to make this problem a lot faster. And that's what CaveGen does. From there, so the known seeds are passed into CaveGen, and CaveGen will generate them and figure out what they're going to look like. And then these get passed to the judge, and the judge basically takes in a sublevel and makes a prediction of, how long it's going to take, and also like what percentile this is. So this is the output of judge over here, like percentile and how long it's going to take versus some benchmark. And then the KViewer tool just takes that output and sorts it and tells the user a bunch of good score attack levels to play. The CMAL one is a bit more complicated because I think the question of like which sublevel do you actually want to play is pretty complicated. So there's a couple like things that go into that. For example, you have like the upcoming sublevels and how long the judge thinks it's going to take, like how long you would have to wait on the menu screen, as well as how much time you have to spend scrolling to them. So there are also some like mathy questions like, if I find a level 29 that's in the top 10%, is that good enough, or should I wait until I find one that's in the top 5%? If I have like 20 levels left, then maybe I should, but if I only have 5 levels left, then maybe I should just take the one that's in the top 10%. This ends up being a pretty complicated problem, like figuring out what's optimal. The way I formulated it was to minimize the expected amount of time in the remainder of the run. And then I did a computation that took well over a day in order to get the expected value for any like subset of remaining levels. So like for all 2 to the 30 possible subsets of levels, my tool computed the expected value of playing that subset using the optimal strategy. It does this via a dynamic programming recursive algorithm. It's pretty interesting, I think, and pretty cool. And the result is, something like a 5-minute time save in CMAL, like maybe more. It's hard to say. So if you want to set this up, I'll try to write something up for people who are interested. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I think this is cool. Thanks for watching.